What's up, guys? My name is Nathan and welcome to Hail. So if you've been following the Decade in Review series, this is episode 2, top 10 movies of 2011. If you did not check out my first one, well, that was my top 10 movies of 2010. Now we're going to be talking about the movies from 2011. By the way, do you guys like my new Indiana Jones poster right there? Last Crusade has been my favorite Indiana Jones movie since as long as I can remember. And I really like this poster as well because Harrison Ford's just kind of like... You know what I mean? But anyways, you guys probably don't really care about that. All right, so in preparation for this video, there were quite a few movies that I wanted to see that I was unable to see because I was not able to find them edited. And if you've watched this channel for a while, you know that I watch R-rated films edited. It's just a personal preference. It's just what I do. So movies like The Ides of March and The Descendants, I was not able to watch, although they are on my 2011 watch list. And a little disclaimer for these Decade in Review videos, I go off of the US release date / the year they were recognized at award shows. So like for an example, the movie The Untouchables technically came out in 2011 according to IMDb, but it wasn't released in the US until 2012, and it was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Golden Globes in 2013. So technically, that movie would be a 2012 movie, and I can assure you that you will find that on my top 10 movies of 2012. But in preparation for this video, I watched 3 new movies. They were Another Earth, The Tree of Life, and A Separation. And one of those made this list. You'll just have to see which one. Coming in at number 10, we've got The Artist. This was the Best Picture winner for the year 2011. I had seen it before, but I actually rewatched it in preparation for this video to see if it still held up like I had remembered it from 2011, and I still really enjoy this movie. It is just creative, and it was a nice refresher for the time. Obviously, we don't get silent films ever anymore, and so to release a silent film in 2011 was just pretty cool. And even when I saw it in 2011, I was younger, and my taste in movies hadn't necessarily matured yet. I even enjoyed it back then, and so that's saying something too. But I just like the tone to this movie. I like this setting. I think all the performances are really good, and I was really satisfied with the ending as well. At number 9, we have Midnight in Paris. This guy's visiting Paris, and every night he mysteriously travels back in time to the 1920s. This movie stars Owen Wilson, and I like that guy. I don't see him in too many movies, but when I am watching a movie with him in it, I usually enjoy it. It's just a really clever concept, and I don't know what else to say. I just enjoyed what happened on screen. At number 8, we've got Super 8. This film thrives off of the child actors, and they deliver. They do a great job in their roles. If they're supposed to act scared, they do a great job at acting scared, but yet they also just like act like children who are this age in real life. And I like the whole setting. It takes place back in like the 80s, I believe, or sorry, 1979, I guess. The story also has heart behind it, which is always nice. And although it's just an alien attack movie, you're pretty emotionally attached to it as well. At number 7, we have The Help. I saw this movie in theaters with my sister, and I was the only guy in the theater. Not only was I the only guy in the theater, but my little sister and I, we were the only ones who were like below the age of like 65. And I also remember my sister got this like garlic popcorn seasoning. It smelled disgusting. So yeah, it was a fun movie experience. This was the movie where I found out about who Emma Stone was, and ever since this movie, I've really liked her as an actress. I also like the name Skeeter, and I told my family once that I wanted to name my daughter Skeeter, and they all thought that was like a terrible idea. So I think I'm gonna like name my dog Skeeter or something like that. A big strength to this movie are all the performances. Octavia Spencer, she of course won the Oscar for her role, and then Viola Davis, is that her name? Viola Davis? Like Viola Davis was nominated, and so was Jessica Chastain. But I think even the two that weren't nominated, Emma Stone and Bryce Dallas Howard, they give amazing performances too. And like they could have been nominated as well, but maybe it would have been crazy to have 5 actresses nominated from the same movie. I don't know, but like I just thought all the performances in this movie were very well done. At number 6, I have The Adjustment Bureau. This was a movie that my family, we just like Redboxed it one night, and I really liked what it was. The plot is Matt Damon plays a politician who's running for office, and amidst his campaign, he meets this girl that he falls in love with, but turns out he was never supposed to meet her in the first place. And so there's this adjustment bureau that adjusts his fate and tries to make it so that he never sees her again. I think this was the first movie I ever saw Emily Blunt in, and like from this movie, I just really liked her. This probably sounds like deja vu for you guys because I just said this about Emma Stone. I think this was the first movie I ever saw Emily Blunt in, and ever from this movie, I really liked her as an actress. Really liked her. But hey, well, I mean, what can you say? 2011 was a good year. And I saw it just a few months ago again, and it still holds up. Like, I still really enjoy this movie. At number 5, we have one of the most underrated movies of the decade, in my opinion. At least one of the most underrated Disney movies of the decade, and that is The Muppets. I think a lot of people kind of stay away from this movie because It stars a bunch of puppets, but this movie is hilarious. And the songs are really good as well. Plus, I love the costume design and I love the jokes that are made. It just has that Muppet humor. This one's good. The Muppet sequel is not very good, so just like stay away from that one. At number 4, we have a first time watch for me, and that is A Separation. This movie won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film for 2011, and it was deserved of that. I mean, I haven't seen the other foreign language films nominated. I wanted to see them, but I didn't have time to check them out before this video. But I was just blown away by A Separation. I thought the meat of the movie would be a couple divorcing, and that would be like the plot of it. But it went a route that I was not expecting at all. And with that route, I was incredibly invested with the film. And if you've seen the movie, you know the ending is a little ambiguous. And the actress who plays the daughter, the one who's around 12 or 13 years old, when she cries, man, it really tugs at your heartstrings. Like, you really feel for her. It's just kind of a sad movie, but like, I enjoyed all of it. At number 3, we have Warrior. This is my earliest memory of crying in a film when I'm like an older person. Like, yeah, when I was a kid, I cried when I saw the movie Lion King and when I saw My Dog Skip. Like, I cried in those movies, but I was a kid back then. This was the first movie I can remember crying in when I was like starting to enter my teen years, when it was harder to accomplish making me cry in a movie. It's just an emotional story. Two brothers fighting each other in the ring. There's like so much emotion behind that. And when you watch the movie and you understand the context to each brother's side, it's really hard to find someone to root for. Like, when I watch the movie, I don't know if I want Joel Edgerton to win or Tom Hardy to win. And so yeah, coming out of Warrior, it's just one of the most emotional movies I've ever seen. If you know anything about me and this channel, number 2 and number 1 shouldn't come as a surprise. Number 2 goes to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which is funny because you wouldn't expect that to be number 2. You might expect that to be number 45 or something like that, because a freaking ape movie should not be good. At least that's what 2011 Nathan thought when he went into the theater to see the movie. But 2011 Nathan left the theater and was amazed. They created a dang good movie with heart behind it, a good score, great performance by Andy Serkis. I even like James Franco's performance as well. And you find yourself rooting for the apes instead of the humans, which is pretty impressive. And so yeah, you better believe Rise of the Planet of the Apes is near the top of the list. And coming in at number 1, no shock, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This movie marked the end to my childhood, and they did it in such a good way. I've talked about this movie so much on this channel, I feel, and so the only thing I'm going to cover today is the 19 years later epilogue. The sequence where he sends his child off to Hogwarts is so emotional because you've been with Harry and Hermione and Ron for 10 years worth of films, and so to see them sending their kids off to Hogwarts is just, oh, it's gut-wrenching, and I love watching it. And although it's been 8 years since this movie came out, it still holds up. Some people move on from Harry Potter, but not us. So someone asked me recently how I rank these movies, if I go off of the best movie of the year or if I go off my personal favorite. And I definitely go off of my personal favorite. It's a very subjective list. These are all my opinions. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 probably wasn't the best movie of 2011, but for me, it was. It was my favorite. And so as you guys watch these rankings, just keep that in mind. All right, so let's look at 2011 in review. I've seen a total of 50 films from this year. There were no movies that I rated a 1 out of 10, though there were 2 that I gave a 2 out of 10. Green Lantern and Justin Bieber, Never Say Never. And there were 4 movies that I gave a 10 out of 10. I would call 2011, oddly enough, not the year for animated movies. If you guys saw the first episode of this series, 2010 films ranked, I had 4 animated movies on that top 10 list. There's not one animated movie on this list. I mean, it really was kind of a bad year for both Disney, which released Winnie the Pooh, and Pixar, which released Cars 2, which is my least favorite Pixar film. And there were some good Pixar movies, like I enjoyed Puss in Boots, and I also enjoyed Rango, but they didn't make the list. And if I take the average rating of all the movies I saw in 2011, the average rating is 6.76 out of 10. So there you have it, top 10 movies of 2011. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know when 2012 will be out because coming July 20th, I will be working for EFY for 3 weeks straight. That's just a church camp. Stands for Especially for Youth. It's a church camp where we help youth come closer to Jesus Christ and learn more about the gospel. So pretty excited for that. I even have my shirt on right now as we speak, but expect more videos around the time frame of August to September. Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, you can get the hell out.